Hi guys, it's Jyri from Oceanhoarse here. Today we are in sunny Stuttgart with Tuomas Wäinölä, the guitar player of Marko Hietala's solo band. Hi Tuomas.
Hi Jyri and hi guys. We are halfway through our first ever tour outside Finland here in Stuttgart and it's been great.
So, you got a pretty complex rig around you. Why don't you tell us something about it?
Yeah, it is pretty complex, but I think there's a reason for it musically too. And for me, it's not really that complex since I don't really have to operate it second to second level.
So you're using pretty much pre-programmed sounds, I guess.
Yes, that I do.
You got plenty of stump boxes there and some controllers too. I must say the wiring looks top-notch.
Yes, this is the main pedal board and the kind of the brain of the system is the RJM Mastermind PBC, the looper here. It does the, let's say, heavy lifting. I have a MIDI signal that is coming to the pedal board, to the Mastermind from the computers and changes the songs and also the presets for me. My all-time favorite overdrive pedal here, full tone OCD. Then there's Walrus Audio Julia chorus, an MXR analog delay. The Tumnus is kind of a clone, and that I use to push the OCD more if I want a leadier sound. There's a Baritone EQ, and this is my favorite phaser. It's a Mad Professor and it's hand-wired, tiny orange phaser. Then there's a couple of Chase Bliss audio things, Brothers and Gravitas, which is a tremolo, but also it has a great vibe, gain-wise too. There's some more Mad Professor things, Forest Green compressor. That has to be my favorite compressor of.
By the way, is it hand-wired or the PCB version?
This is the PCB version. Pirate fuzz I use. That's the only fuzz at the moment in this pedal board. The quadrant is used exclusively by the Bogner Ecstasy effect loop, so it has its dedicated delay. Then there's Wampler DB, that is a clean boost. Then the H9s, Eventide H9.
So you're using two of those?
Yeah, I'm using two of Eventide H9s. One is more for the wet side of things, and one is more for the modular and harmonizing effects. Then there's Strymon Timeline, that's a delay classic already.
Yeah, that seems to be a modern classic nowadays.
Yeah, and rightfully so, I think. Then again, Mad Professor pedal, this is called Cosmos, and I use it for shimmer type of things. And this one is Digitech's Freak Out, or I think we can say Freak Out, because that it gives us feedback without being loud. I don't know how it does it, but that's great. I get feedback whenever I want. Then there's wah pedal.
So that's the traditional wah.
Yeah.
Then you have some kind of expression board there also.
I have one that's dedicated to a delay, one that is for one of the H9s I have. The other one is for the other H9, and this one is controlling the RJM itself, and that's a way for me to kind of do a lot of stuff, and this far I've used it for controlling the Chase Bliss Brothers pedal, which is a pedal that doesn't really operate on MIDI, but instead VCA, that is a voltage control system used in old analog synths and also the modular ones nowadays. And the Mastermind, it takes the expression pedal signal, turns it to MIDI, and then gives it forward to a Chase Bliss thing that converts the signal to VCA. Sounds complicated, but it really isn't. It means I can control gain from here, and that's pretty cool. I've kind of waited for that, let's say, all my guitar playing live, because there's always a kind of a need to control the gain a bit, and I used to do it with my foot, kind of operating the distortion and overdrive and boost pedals by foot. I got pretty skilled.
You were using the old school way.
Yes, that's the old school way. And I like
now 2020 you get all covered up.
Yeah, it's 2020, right.
So let's move on to the amp section. You got 2 amps, right?
Yeah, I got 2 amps going on since I really want to be versatile, and it's part of the tactic of having best of all worlds. So for the more old school sounds, I use Mad Professor amp MP101. It's a Finnish company, so I'm really happy to sport one of our own producers of guitar gear. This amp is kind of pretty neutral in a way that it gives a great bass to use pedals on.
So there's 2 channels going on.
Yeah, there's 2 channels, but the thing is it has been modded so that they are both the same clean channel, and that gives me an opportunity to kind of run the second clean channel a bit hotter. So it gives me some breakup already, and then I kind of tool around with those 2 on a song-to-song basis. The other amp here is pretty much my all-time favorite what comes to high gain amplifiers. It's a Bogner Ecstasy. I already bought, I guess, 2006, and I've used it ever since. That's the one I'm using for all the high gainy sounds, but it also has a great clean channel that is more hi-fi and scooped, so I use it for some things too. It has a lot of room for tweaking, but my settings are kind of starting to be the same in every project I play, and I'm really happy with it. My friend Lassi Ukkonen, who has place called Triodipaja in Finland. He's also the mastermind behind the Mad Professor pedal Symbol. He did a mod there that is a little switch on the backside of the amp that kind of toys around with lead channel EQ, so I can get a little less top end there if I want to.
So you're switching between 2 channels there, right?
Yes, I'm using all the 3 channels of the Ecstasy. That's a really good clean channel too. And the second one is the main kind of high gain or crunch sound. And the red one is obviously the lead sound.
Are you using the amp simultaneously or just separately?
And I don't use them simultaneously. The Weber amp switcher is taking care of switching between the amps. It also is controlled by the Mastermind by a TRS cable, and that's why I also don't need 2 cabinets. I can only do with 1, and that is 4x12-inch Mad Professor cabinet, and that is loaded with Celestion speakers, G12H model.
So you got 2 microphones.
Yeah, well, we are using a tactic that is kind of a false stereo thing, where we are miking the cabinet with 2 microphones, and we are delaying the other a few milliseconds and spreading them out hard pan left and right. So that seems to sound really good in our production.
So it's only the mics, no direct out signal or anything?
No, I'm only using the mic'd signal. I've tried a lot of microphones, and the winner And my all-time favorite ever is Rode M2. It's a pretty cheap vocal microphone actually. I find its EQ curve to be just perfect for guitar for me. It's fairly close to a 57, but there's some good peaks there to dress up the guitar sound just the way I like. And it's been paired with a biodynamic M201, and that's a new thing for me, but they seem to be happy with each other. I've been trying the 57 and AKG 414, Sennheisers 409, 906, even Royers, you name it, I tried it, but this is somehow the best guitar microphone I've found.
Alright, thanks. Let's move on to playing. So Tuomas, this seems to be your main guitar on this tour.
Yes, Jyri, I'm using a Les Paul as I do oftentimes, and this is year 1980 Gibson Heritage Series Standard. It's the first year that Gibson made this 59 reissue, and I got it from eBay. I guess I got lucky. It was already equipped with Seymour Duncan pickups, a Jeff Beck and 59, and this is my main axe on this tour.
So let's move on to Gibson SG model.
Yes, this is vintage old spec Gibson SG from early 2000s, a custom shop one, and this one has bare knuckle pickups, the mule, which is like a puff thing, and this one I use in the song Stones.
So you're playing slide on this guitar. The action must be a bit higher than the regular one.
Higher, so it's easier for me. I'm no Derek Trucks actually, so it'll make things easier.
Yes, would you play some for us?
Sure. This is 1997 Vince Cunetto Relic Custom Shop Stratocaster. I use in a couple of songs. This one is loaded with Lolar Dirty Blonde pickups. There's also the noise cancelling backplate, the Illich thing. And as you can see here, there's some special iron in this one. The whole tremolo arm and the string pieces and also the block, they are from a Finnish manufacturer called AKT Erikoistuote Syvänen. He's a blacksmith who uses really like sword iron.
And then you got nice Bixby Les Paul also.
Yeah, this one is gold top from 1979. It's pretty heavy with a maple neck. it has a great sound, I think. Kind of a Neil Young vibe going on. It has the P90s and the Bixby. I use it in a song called Death March for Freedom.
And here we have the Jazz Master. And let's move on to the metal guitars.
Yes, this is Baritone Guitar, LTD by ESP Guitars. It's a really cheap one, but it's a great guitar. I'm using it in our version of David Bowie's Starman, and it's from B to B, but in a drop A tuning, so it goes pretty low. That one has pickups by my friend Kai Seppälä, Aurora Guitars in Finland, and it's pretty hot, but still gives some good definition.
And you're also playing acoustic guitars.
Yes, there's some of that in our show. This one is a nylon string Gibson Chet Atkins model. It's almost a solid body instrument, so there's no feedback problems, and I really like the sound. It's very easy to play too, so it's a great companion live.
And then you have this beautiful 12-string guitar.
Yes, this is a Guild 12-string. There's some really signature guitar parts that actually Marko played on the album, and I'm reproducing them live with this one. It's basic piezo mic'd acoustic, nothing really special about it. It works great. There's a thing to kind of cut back the feedback, and otherwise it's a stock instrument, also tuned from D to D.
You seem to have plenty of guitars with you, but how about the guitar picks?
Well, I mostly play on Dunlop Jazz 3 stock, and there's also a 1mm strong Dunlop nylon pick for mostly playing the 12-string. But I mostly use the Jazz 3 for everything.
But what does this button do?
Oh, that button. That's only the most important switch in the whole system. Let's see what it does.